Probably help to put these on. That's better. I think. Well, look who's number one in the door. Kathy is here. How's everything on your end? I am so pissed off right now. I could bite this microphone. Glad to hear it. Granddaughter's infection all taken care of. Healing up now like it should. You know what, let's get this out of the way. Broadcasting live from Studio 1 of station WDWL TV, we bring you the Grumpy Old Man. What the? This tablet has a goddamn mind of its own. Jesus Christ. Getting another round of antibiotics. Let's hope this is the last round and the Runbow is here. Well, I was all excited about the survey because everyone was in agreement. I'm thinking, oh boy, another week or so, there'll be speed bumps. No. Now it has to go to committee. And we all know what happens in committee. It'll either get killed or we won't see anything until next year. So I'm going to give it a couple of weeks. And then my councilman is not going to want to hear my voice on the phone. Yeah. It has to go to committee. Pretty strange. Over in the south side, over in the Tremont area, oh, Jesus Christ. There's speed bumps everywhere. And up on Chatfield, which is only a couple of blocks from me, there's speed bumps. But this has to go to committee. So I'll just keep filming and filling thumb drives and sending them off to anybody that will plug them into their computer and look at them. Because I have a radar gun. I bought it several years ago. So while I'm filming somebody blasting down the street, the speed on the radar gun is in the camera, along with their license number. Oh, I'll tell you what, Kathy. The stop sign is only like 15 feet from my driveway. I don't know how many times I've almost gotten nailed by people they just blow through them. They don't exist. Well, Linda, I'm not saying that could not be a possibility. Somebody blowing down the street, hit the speed bump, and end up in my living room, but it's getting ridiculous. It's like they don't exist. They just blow through them because they know that the police department is so short-handed. It's not like 5 years ago. They would put a car out here at least 3 times a week, and they were writing tickets left and right. But now, with the police department being so short-handed, they can't afford. But I said, well, we have the police department has traffic bureau. Oh, they're short-handed too. Well, like I say, I'm going to give it a couple of weeks, and then I'm going to call a councilman and say, what the hell's going on? Because I know the ones that they put up on Chatfield, it only took a month. People bitching because Chatfield was like a drag strip. So, we'll see. But Kathy, that's not what's got me pissed off. I have been having intermittent brake problems with the shitbox. So the damn RAV4 went down on me, and I discovered that the coil went out. I could have bought one cheap off of eBay, but it wouldn't have been here for like 2 weeks. So, as much as I hated the idea, I went up to Awful Zone. They had one listed in their catalog. Of course, 3 times the price I would have paid on eBay. I need that coil. I need that vehicle. So they said, well, we don't stock it. Oh, wonderful. It has to come from our warehouse. Okay. Where's the warehouse? Indianapolis. You don't have a warehouse in Cleveland? Well, we don't have any. I was like, oh, geez, I need this thing. They said, well, for an extra $6.99, you can have it shipped FedEx overnight. I was like, okay, $7 overnight. Great. I'll pay it. That was on Thursday. I get a shipping notification today from FedEx. It won't be here until Monday. Monday. I paid for overnight shipping. Even if they fumbled the ball, it should have been shipped out Friday, and I should have had it today. No, Monday. I'm going to want my $7 back. Because to me, overnight shipping would have been Thursday arriving Friday, or Friday arriving today. Not picked up Friday and delivered Monday. Evidently, their overnight is, well, when we decide to ship it, it will be overnight. But it was picked up at 1:40 p.m. Friday. Overnight should have been 1:40 p.m. today. No, Monday. Glenn Harlow is doing super chats to Dr. Dave. Whoa! I guess Glenn has too much money and he needs to distribute it amongst the YouTubers. I didn't know Dr. Dave was still doing his live broadcasts. Although I stopped following Dr. Dave quite a while ago. I actually thought Dr. Dave disappeared for a while. I guess not, huh? Is he, like, regular? Actually, Dr. Dave don't live that far away from me. About, maybe 25-minute, half-hour drive. I think he lives in Euclid. I might be wrong, but it's over on that side of town. I thought he was off the air for a while. Health issues, okay. Well, we all have them. I'm not going to get into mine. Me and my pain management doctor. Matter of fact, I forgot to schedule my MRI. I better call tomorrow. Or Monday. Duh. Tomorrow's Sunday, asshole. That's alright. I got till the end of the month, so no big deal. So who is Dr. Dave picking on now? That he doesn't have Kaiser anymore. I'll have to check and see if I'm still subscribed to him. I haven't. I'll just say it's been a long time. I used to mainly watch him for his beer reviews. Although it's obvious he is not a beerologist. Because one beer that he reviewed and said it was nasty, I tried it. And I found the beer quite enjoyable. Had full body, brewed with a lot of hops. He was like, oh, I had to pour half the can down the drain. Well, to me, that was a waste of good beer. So, a beerologist, he is not. I'm trying to think, what's the term for the wine specialist? What do they call them? I can't think of. Well, Dr. Dave thinks he's a beer specialist like the wine people. A sommelier or something. Yeah, that's what Dave thinks. He's a beer sommelier, or however you pronounce it. French was never good. Come on, lava lamp, you've been on for an hour. I need a new bulb for that thing. Actually, I need to bring the other one in, the volcano. I had it on the other night while I was watching TV, testing it. Works really nice. This one, not so much. Although I did find where I could buy bulbs for lava lamps. Matter of fact, lava lamps, they only take one bulb. Every lava lamp made only takes one bulb. I thought I could find one that was, a little hotter. Make more lava. Nope. Every lava lamp takes the same bulb. For those people out there that care. Little worthless trivia. If you have a lava lamp, it only takes one type bulb. You can't get a hotter bulb. And I'll tell you, getting back to FedEx, if they screw me around and I don't have that coil on Monday, I am going to be extremely pissed. Because I need that car for Tuesday. I cannot reschedule this oncology appointment. I tried. Nope. It's be here. Oh, okay. And with the goofy brakes on the shitbox, I don't dare drive to Parma. No way. Even though it's only 15 minutes from here. I ain't taking the chance that those things will fail. And the goofy thing is, they go out whenever they want. I can have perfect brakes for a whole day. The next day, go to pull out the driveway, no brakes. Don't understand it. I even stopped in the little Puerto Rican mechanic up the street. He was like, I don't know. Well, thank you. He said, do you have a scanner? I said, yes. Well, what does the scanner read? It reads brake failure. That's what it reads. It don't tell me nothing else. I tried a different coffee. Tully's. Tully's French roast. Very good coffee. Never heard of it. Tullys. Tully's. Yeah, Kathy, I'm really thinking I might have to do some serious brake work, like brake lines, wheel cylinders, calipers. But it's intermittent. That's what's driving me crazy. Uh-oh. Ain't good. There we go. Sometimes you have to shake it. Here's another bit of worthless trivia. I was watching a documentary on Hiroshima. And something over all these years, we're coming up on what, like 80 years? Maybe more. My math isn't good. They gave the crew of the Enola Gay cyanide capsules. And they were told, if perchance they were forced down, or if they had to crash, any survivors were to immediately take the cyanide capsule, because that's how secretive that mission was. I've never heard that over all the years of hearing and watching different documentaries on the atomic bomb and Hiroshima. And yeah, the United States said, here, if you get forced down and survive, take this pill. That was something that a lot of the upper echelon German army people, matter of fact, the SS, they had special rings, and inside the ring was a cyanide pill. But I didn't know that the crew of the Enola Gay were all given cyanide capsules. Interesting. Not something I've ever heard before. It was quite an interesting documentary. Sometimes I can be a history buff. I'm talking about cyanide capsules, and Ron just took his pill. Ron, you need an alarm. You need to set an alarm. Because you always end up taking your 2 p.m. pill just a tad late. I think we need to take up a collection to buy Ron an alarm clock. Although we'd probably forget to set the alarm. Not a very good alarm clock. Oh, time for a commercial, time for a product endorsement. And I am not receiving any compensation. I told you I tried these new burgers. They might not be new. They're new in our store up here. Called Philly Gourmet. Well, they make a quarter pounder and they make a third pounder. Now, I have been eating the third pounders. No shrinkage whatsoever. I am very impressed. So today, I decided I'm going to try the quarter pounders and see if they're like the third pounders, but very good burgers. Very good. Oh, YouTube's loaded with commercials. They drive you crazy with their commercials. Because they want you to take the, what is it, YouTube Plus or YouTube Premium? I'm not paying for YouTube Premium. At least I can skip the commercials. You know, you gotta wait about 10-15 seconds and then you can hit skip. But they're getting overloaded with commercials. And what really irritates me is when they run the same one over and over and over. Well, every now and then, Kathy, I will pay attention to them. Because I found a couple of things that I'm interested in. But when they run the same commercial over and over and over and over. I'm skipping it. But that's how they get you into buying their premium. Because it's commercial free. I don't know what it cost. I'm not buying it. Matter of fact, I have to check. I think my free cell phone service with Spectrum is coming to an end. The last day, I will be switching back to consumer cellular. Oh, I got an email from Consumer Cellular apologizing for the screw up on my Allstate Motor Club. So I am getting 2 months for free. And they are going to look into the way they bill. Instead of billing it to the phone, they're going to think of changing the system to bill it to the account. So, bitching to the court office, it worked. I got lucky. I actually hit somebody in the corporate office that pushed the suggestion up the ladder. So I get 2 months free, and my membership was issued immediately. Well, after it took 48 hours. But I also got an email from Allstate saying, "Welcome to Allstate Signature Motor Club. Here is your temporary ID card until you get your official welcome kit." Well, you know, I would say 20, 25 years ago, I would not have gone to corporate. But the older I get, I guess the bitchier I get. And I had no problem calling Consumer Cellular's corporate office. None whatsoever. But I'm also glad I spoke with someone that was high enough in the echelon to get the suggestion pushed up the corporate ladder. Now, whether they'll change it or not, I don't know. But they're looking into it, which I appreciate now. I think they mainly do it because they don't want to hear my bitchy voice. Because like when that girl got on the phone, I told her, if expletives make you queasy, transfer me to someone else. And she said, "Talk away." Okay, I did. Although I did hold back the F-bombs. But anything else, it came out of my mouth. I don't like dropping the F-bombs, especially if it's a female. Now, if it would have been a guy, I wouldn't have thought twice. Because it's too easy to hang up on you. You know, drop an F-bomb, click, hello. Although I'm not going to have any problem dropping F-bombs with FedEx. Especially when you pay extra for overnight service. That really irritated me. Especially with them waiting 24 hours to pick the item up. And then, like I say, they had it in their hands on their truck at 1:40 p.m. on Friday. Overnight means 1:40 p.m. Saturday. No part. Holy shit, Parasite. Did your complaint get through? Or was it one of these, I'll pass it up the chain of command? Oh, really? Well, good. He deserved it. See, Kathy, it doesn't hurt to bitch. Oh, when I told Mary Ann, she was like, oh, don't you have nothing better to do? I said, well, if I don't have the RAV4 running by the end of the day Monday, I hope you don't have anything to do on Tuesday because you can run me out to my oncology appointment. Yeah, don't you have anything better to do? She doesn't believe in all this, you know. Although I'll tell you, I will never, I could be out of food. I will never shop with her again. Because she is a devout vegetarian and been that way for about 30 years. And you should have heard the sermon I got when she saw the hamburgers in my basket. Do you know what's in them? I don't care, Marianne. They taste good. Oh, all kinds of preservatives and this and that. I said, hey, while you're in line, chew on a carrot, will you? Oh, Kathy, she don't care. She don't care. She makes her feelings known no matter what. Oh, as soon as I said my oncologist, oh, all the holistic bullshit came out. She's not one for normal doctors. She's into this holistic healing bullshit and these alternative doctors. And like I say, she just does not care. She'll I'm surprised she didn't take the box out of my basket and start reading the ingredients, you know. You know, those are bad for you. Well, the last box tasted pretty damn good, and I'm still breathing. Although, Kathy, I've gotten used to her. I mean, I've known her for 15 years, maybe longer. I know when I say something what negative is going to come out of her mouth, and it just goes in one ear and out the other. I listen, nod my head, you know, yeah, I know. That's right. Eat what you want, smoke what you want. Oh, but she's not against cigarettes. She's a smoker. So, at least I don't get that lecture. Matter of fact, she smokes the same cigarettes I do. Matter of fact, she told me of a place where I can get them 12 cents a pack cheaper. I told her I like my little Indian store. Thank you. Matter of fact, when I went in there yesterday, I don't know whose wife is whose. One of the wives dragged me over to the ice cream cooler to show me they have a new distributor for ice cream. I said, well, which one do you eat? She pointed at one called it's a weird something delight. It has a lot of chocolate and caramel in it, so I bought one. I'll try it. But I had mentioned one day I liked ice cream. And I walked over to the ice cream cooler and I went, not a big selection in there. So when I went in yesterday, one of the wifeys came around the counter. Come, look, new ice cream. There was one called Fireball. I don't think it had any ice cream in it. I think it was all cinnamon. cinnamon this, cinnamon that, cinnamon this. I was like, no thanks, no Fireball. So whatever this delight is, I can't remember. It's not chocolate delight. It's not caramel delight. It's something delight. I bought one. The Fireball. Yeah, I was reading the ingredient. Cinnamon, cinnamon chips, cinnamon this, cinnamon that. I was like, is there any ice cream in here? I was waiting for it to say, and a dash of Tabasco, you know. You know, with all these people that like these super hot foods, how come they don't come out with like habanero ice cream? I've never seen habanero ice cream. As a matter of fact, I don't know if they still do it. There used to be a bar in Lakewood, and every now and then they would have a hot sauce off. And everybody would take like a third of a shot of hot sauce and down it. And then it would get hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter and hotter. I would think after the contest, give them a bowl of habanero ice cream. Those people are sick. Those people that drink that hot sauce are sick. I can just imagine what their digestive tract looks like. One giant flame right down to the rectum. Because I've seen some of these hot sauces. They go right off the Scoville scale. I think it's a third of a shot glass. They have to down it. And then when they kind of recover, the next one is hotter. I don't know what you... If you win the contest, I don't know what you get. Maybe a free hospital stay. I don't know. I know damn right well a trophy wouldn't do it for me. I mean, I like hot sauce, but I like hot sauce that just adds a little heat. I don't want it to burn the taste buds off my tongue. Hey, you won the hot sauce contest. Here's a coupon, 1 free week at the emergency room, you know. I could almost imagine what a gastroenterologist would think with somebody coming in going, Doc, I have no tongue left. My esophagus is burned to a crisp. And so is my whole intestinal tract. And right now I have a popsicle up my rectum. Help me. And the doctor give him another popsicle. Here, stick this up there. Like they say, hot going in, hot coming out. I, it would be easy to tell which one of your neighbors won the contest by the screams the next morning. You walk over to his house and he's sitting in a giant vat of ice. Are you the one that was screaming? Yes. You want some more ice? Yes. So, Ron, how was your flaming fillet of Mongolian yak the other night? Because he said he was making something he had never made before. I figured, well, it had to be flaming fillet of Mongolian yak. It was horrible. Maybe you didn't flame it long enough. I'll never forget the one time I went out to eat with my buddy and he ordered some kind of blackened fish. And when they brought the plate out, I told him, I said, I didn't know you were eating charcoal. He said, it's fish. I said, it looks like a pile of charcoal to me. And you know, they tell you, if you ordered like blackened fish, it's never cooked fully. You know, if you stick a thermometer in it, it ain't fully cooked all the way to the center. And you can get too many frickin' diseases from uncooked fish. You have a daughter-in-law that is under the weather? It turned into good queasy dagos. Oh, okay, Ron. Boy, all kinds of good news today. Linda gets an update on her daughter-in-law. Ron takes his pill 6 hours late. I don't know how you stay on schedule with your medication. I'm right on the dot with mine all the time. Although after I tell my doctor how much he's got me screwed up, it'll be interesting oral medication he puts me on now. Just what I want, more pills. Although it's interesting, usually before I go to see my oncologist, I have to go get stabbed for a blood draw. So I messaged his office and I said, Tuesday afternoon, I have an appointment. Do I need a blood draw? And I haven't got an answer back. So maybe I won't need to get stabbed. Vampire won't get to stick a needle in me. Although watch Monday morning. Go up and get a blood draw. It's like I have a small box fan and I have it on the kitchen table in front of the one window. And for the last couple of days, my cat's been sleeping in front of the fan. I'm like, what's the matter with sleeping in the window? Yeah, you're just laying there in front of the fan. Don't bother me. Although he loves that cat fountain. Oh. I come out in the kitchen a little while ago and he had his tongue underneath the spigot. I've noticed since I got him the cat fountain, he's drinking a lot more water. He likes that running water coming out of that little spigot. I told Mary Ann she needs to get one. Because every time she turns the water on in the kitchen, the cat jumps on the counter. I said, they're not that expensive. Go buy a cat fountain. I ordered 2 of them. Because you never know how long they're going to last. Especially this Chinese-made crap. Holy shit, really? What happened? If I can be so nosy. God, in the middle of summer, that's the last place anybody would want to be. Jesus. I hope she's improving. Holy shit. Doesn't she have one of those, oh shit, what do you call it? What the hell's that damn device that they install? It like gives your heart a shock if it gets out of whack. Pacemaker. I knew somebody'd save me. I don't know why I couldn't think of it. Pacemaker. Because I know every now and then they have to change them out. Because the battery only lasts so long. Jesus. That don't sound good, Linda. Well, I hope the meds work. Because we know the next course of action would be a pacemaker. It's not good when the old ticker gets out of whack. Christ, 3 of my friends have them, Ginger. Matter of fact, my buddy's wife just got one. A couple weeks ago, she was talking to her next door neighbor. And next thing you know, she was on the floor of the garage. She doesn't even remember feeling dizzy or weak or anything. Just fell, smacked her head, had to get staples. And a week later, they put a pacemaker in. They like the water, Linda, or they like laying in front of a fan? I've never seen a cat sleep in front of a fan. But I can't get him off the kitchen table. Pardon me, I got an aardvark in my throat. Like at night, I turn on the air conditioner, I get the bedroom all nice and cool. I bring him in, I put him on the bed, back out in the kitchen. He just loves sleeping in front of that fan. But he loves that water fountain. That was the best $6. $6 on Timo. I remember the first day I set it up. I turned it on. He kind of looked at it. He was kind of unsure about it. Next thing you know, he stuck his nose in it and water. Oh, it's water! And next thing he was drinking out of it. But he doesn't like me to watch him. I'll come in the kitchen. I'm like, finished drinking. No, I'll walk out. I kind of hide behind the door. And then I'll see him go back over. I'll walk in the kitchen. Walks away from it. I guess he doesn't want me to know that he really enjoys it. You know, Linda, it's possible. And they say there's a lot of times they don't find this until later on in life. She might have been born with a little bit of a heart problem that just really didn't show up. And it's just might have been getting progressively worse over years. I know that's what they said with my buddy's wife. They said this is something that she could have been born with, but it never really produced any problems until she got older. Let's just hope they can get things straightened around. 55 is too goddamn young. Well, last of the coffee. But in a way, being 55, let's hope they catch it and straighten it out now, because she don't want to have problems, you know, in her later years. But that is too young to be having any kind of heart problem, in my opinion. Every 10 years. I know they have to be changed. I didn't know what the time span was. Because my friend up the street just had one a couple months ago. They had to change it. But he didn't give me a time span. So 10 years, not bad. Although he said that was the best thing that they ever did. He really hasn't had a problem since they put that pacemaker in. He just don't like going in every 10 years, getting a new one. But I told him that's a small sacrifice. Oh, Linda, you're going to get a kitty fountain. Temu has 2 or 3 different types. I got one that's a fountain, and then I got one, it looks like a flower, and it has 4 water outlets on it. He didn't care for that one too much, but he likes the one with the spigot. It just got a spigot. He loves that one. Plus it gets him to drink more water, because cats aren't big water drinkers. I can tell. Believe me. I'm scooping litter all the time. Yeah, the one good thing, so I don't waste a lot of litter because he likes the original clay. He always uses the same corner of the litter box, so I go in there and I scoop all the wet litter out, put some fresh in, and I've noticed he is using the litter box a lot more, which is when you got fixed cats, especially males, they get urinary tract problems. So I'm glad he's drinking the water. I don't mind scooping the litter. Yeah, I've seen that on eBay. Yeah, on YouTube. Now mine likes to play in the toilet, but he don't like using it. Well, it's a good sign that they stepped her down from CCU to ICU. So that's a good sign. Let's just hope the medication works. 55 is too freaking young. I'm That's one thing I'm thankful for. Although now I'm going to jinx myself because heart problems have run in the family. Like on my father's side, my great grandfather, my grandfather, and my father all died from heart attacks. On my mother's side, my mother's father died from a heart attack. So it runs in the family. But I'm thankful it seems like it skipped a generation. Now my son has a bit of a heart murmur. Nothing serious so far. Same thing, you know. My grandmother was a diabetic. My grandmother, on my mother's mother, she had Parkinson's. My middle sister has MS. I'm like, geez. Of course, me, I get the big C. Let's just hope Tuesday that oncologist tells me I'm still in remission. That's kind of making me nervous. Because I had to go in and get a CT scan for him with and without contrast. Now I've got to get a CT scan for my pain management doctor. I don't know why he can't look at the one I already had. I've had two of them. But no big deal. Sucks to get old. It's like, you know, when me and my friends get together, all we talk about is medical ailments. You know, like tomorrow, my buddy's wife will call. You know, she's been going through rehab because after she fell, she was getting kind of weak kneed, and they don't know why, but she's been doing rehab. Oh, you don't have to go in and have the frickin' surgery? My buddy, he's got a incision like about an inch and a half. You know, with all the technology, they should make them rechargeable some way. You know, where you, if you're sitting watching TV, you pop your charger on. You would think, you know, make them so like your cell phone. When you get in your car, it automatically charges your pacemaker. Oh yeah, Linda, I've seen a lot of YouTube videos with cats sitting on the pot. Mine, you leave the lid up, he empties it. And people say it's easy to train them. Mine would scratch me up to death like a mountain lion. But like I say, he has no problem playing in it. Well, that's what I've been doing for probably 10, 12 years now. I get out my St. Joseph's orange flavored low dose aspirin every morning, along with my other pills. The only problem is, if I nick myself, I bleed like a stuck pig. That's the only drawback to taking an aspirin every day. That's why I carry Band-Aids in my wallet. Although it doesn't help having thin skin either. And it don't take much. Bang myself, damn it. Yeah, I carry Band-Aids in my wallet and hand sanitizer in both vehicles. Yeah, Linda, my oncologist, he can't explain it. And like I say, I had no symptoms. Except I was starting to have swallowing problems. And then next thing you know, I got tumors everywhere. I can't remember how much my St. Joseph's, they're not that expensive. I get them up at Mark's. God, I remember my grandmother giving me a St. Joseph's aspirin. They've been around for over 100 years or longer. Good old St. Joseph's. Kind of has that religious ring to it, like God approved aspirin, St. Joseph's. That's because they're only around here. And I think he's got a couple in Pennsylvania. It's an Ohio, Marcs, Marks. His name is Mark Glassman. Yeah, he started out with like 3 or 4 stores, and now he's got, I don't know, 100, 150 in Ohio and a couple, I think, in Pennsylvania. Because he bought out Bernie Schulman's. Bernie Schulman's was in southern Ohio. And he bought out Bernie Schulman's, and now they're all Marks. Well, I don't chew them, Kathy. I just swallow them. As a matter of fact, for years, evidently he doesn't have his parrots anymore. He had some really big African parrots. And in his sale ads was always a picture, a caricature of him with a parrot sitting on his shoulder. But they kind of did away with the parrot thing. It's a combination. It's like a grocery store, and he's got a clothing section, and you name it. They jam everything in that store. But he carries fresh meat, groceries, you name it, cereal, and matter of fact, the meats have expanded over the years. I can't remember the name, the meat supplier, but he's got excellent ground beef. I usually, if I get a taste for meatloaf, but I get my Italian sausage there, Johnsonville brats, he's got a big frozen section. That's where I got these burgers. It's a nice little neighborhood store. Getting a little expensive, but I like it because it's right up on the corner. 5 minutes and I'm there. And he's been around for eons. I'm trying to think when that store opened. Probably in the 70s. Go in and gargle it. Marks, M-A-R-C-S. Marks stores. And then look at the ads and you'll see all the shit he carries. But he's mainly, it's an Ohio. Yeah, last year he made like $690 million. He ain't doing too bad. I don't know if he's married or not. I know for the longest time he was single. But you know, Kathy, what I like about him? He may be Jewish and have a shitload of money. But you'll go in the store and you'll see him stocking shelves, sweeping. I remember the one day somebody dropped a bottle of spaghetti sauce and they called, clean up on aisle 7. And he came out with a mop and a bucket. So, I gotta respect him for that. Like he says, I won't tell you to do anything I wouldn't do myself. And there's a lot of times you'll go in the store, he'll be stocking, sweeping, mopping the floor. The guy's a gazillionaire. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. The day I was there, when the woman dropped the bottle of Prego, and they're calling over the PA, clean up in aisle 6. The next thing I know, I see him coming out with a mop and a bucket and a dustpan. He was back there cleaning it up. So I can't fault him. I've already seen him down on his hands and knees washing the bottom shelves, like holy shit. And I think that's why his employees respect him too. Because they will see him doing menial tasks that they would be doing. And you never see him dressed fancy. I've never seen him in dress clothes at all. Jeans, t-shirt, Mark's logo on it, I give the guy credit. But like he tells all of his employees, I will not, in any way, shape, or form, tell you to do something I wouldn't do myself. And he does it. Oh, definitely, Kathy. And another thing, if an employee's got a problem, they can walk up to him and talk to him. It's not like, well, go to the manager and, no. If you have a problem, you can walk right up to him and talk to him. Because he doesn't want any employee to be afraid of him. And I've seen it for years because I constantly am in and out of that store. And every now and then I'll talk to him, ask him how he's doing. I gotta ask him if he's got his parrots anymore. Because when he comes in the store, he tells the employees, hey, don't be afraid to talk to me. I don't care how trivia you think it is. Talk to me. So I can understand why he's so successful. Because if an employee looks over and sees the owner mopping the floor, they're going to say, gee, I guess when they tell me to mop the floor, I shouldn't complain. Here's the owner mopping the floor. And like I say, last year his store made because I looked it up, $690 million. The guy's doing something right. And to be Jewish on top of it. Because I even mentioned that to the one cashier. I said, you see who's cleaning up the broken spaghetti bottles? She goes, yeah, Mark. I said, yep. Matter of fact, the kid was coming out of the back room with the bucket, and he grabbed it and he goes, I'll take care of it, don't worry about it. And there he was, cleaning up the broken glass, sweeping up the spaghetti sauce, mopping away, do. So, even though he's getting a little pricey, I can't fault him. He's not like a lot of these CEOs up in their ivory tower afraid to get their hands dirty. Like I say, I've already seen him on his hands and knees scrubbing shelving. Because, a lot of times in organizations, when the bosses come in, everybody's like, oh shit, be on your best behavior, the boss is here. Not here. He walks into a store, everything just runs like normal. Nobody panics, the boss is here. But it's a perfect example for these young kids, that's like my buddy up in Massachusetts who owns 3 McDonald's franchises. He started out at age 18 flipping burgers and making fries. And kids say, oh, there's no future working in fast food. He owns 3 franchises. And I think today, a McDonald's franchise is like $750,000. Now, I don't know what he paid for his, but he owns 3 of them. And he's the same way. He gets in, flips burgers. Oh, the fries. Need more fries, I'll make them, don't worry. But, right, Kathy. If you do your job and you're not a bitcher, moaner, complainer, and you produce, you got nothing to be worried about. Nothing. The boss knows you're doing a good job. But you know, these kids today, oh, I'm not flipping a burger. Oh, I'm not. Well, Christ, McDonald's is starting at what? Around here, I think $15 an hour. Not too bad to flip a burger. You know, he started out flipping burgers and doing fries and then went to McDonald's Hamburger College, which is an actual college. You get a fucking degree. And he saved his money. And I don't... He doesn't like talking about it, you know. I don't know if he took out a loan to buy the first one or what. All I know is he owns 3. And he's as down to earth as can be. He manages 2 and his wife manages the other one. Probably wherever he's up in Massachusetts, he got the whole area tied up. Because he was driving his mother's old Mercury Grand Marquis. And finally the transmission went out. And he goes, oh, I gotta buy a new car. His new car is a 2016 Kia Soul. He could have gone out and bought a Rolls Royce. Yeah, what kind of store was it, Ron? Grocery store? Auto parts store? Mom and pop type trinket store? Women's clothing. Well, you gotta start somewhere. How did you go from women's clothing to law? Although being a lawyer, I don't know any poor lawyers. Holy shit, 5 clothing stores? Oh, I know. Especially when I go into my little clothing store down the road. They're constantly getting new stuff in. You got to make room for stuff. Got to keep shit on hangers. Make sure it's all priced out. Got to make sure you're keeping in stock what's selling. Got to stay on top of your product. You went to law school in Montana? Wow. And I have heard it's a bitch to pass the bar. My buddy's daughter's a lawyer, and she said that the bar exam was one of the hardest exams she ever took. Oh yeah, you see that on their license plates. Big Sky Country, Montana. Usually with a horse, bucking. But aren't the winters a bitch in Montana? Now, Ron, we're talking a girl that has a PhD. Oh, Wyoming. Okay, wrong state. Sorry. She's got a PhD, and she said the bar exam was the hardest test she ever took. And she said, thank God she passed it, because she couldn't take it again. She said, I wouldn't do it again. I think she's family law. I'm pretty sure that's what family law is her specialty. But when you talk to a girl who has a PhD and said the bar exam almost killed her, oh fuck. Jesus. Holy Christ. My brain would be fried the first day, let alone... You did family law? Well, I give you a lot of credit having a Juris Doctorate. Holy shit. Juris Doctorate, I think that compares with a PhD, doesn't it? Or damn close. I'm not into my law. All I know is a Juris Doctorate is... Ugh. Good for you. Do you still practice a little bit, or you fully retired, Ron? Christ, with a Juris Doctorate, you could run for judge. Judge Ron. Sounds like a TV program. And now, Judge Ron. What do you mean guilty? All I know is having a Juris Doctorate. That's impressive. I'm impressed. Oh, okay. Free legal advice. As long as it's to do with family law. Although I know family law can get sticky. Especially when you get into them goddamn custody battles and I bet you breathe a real sigh of relief when you got your grade. Although that looks real impressive hanging on a wall. If I walked into an attorney's office and I saw a JD, I'd be like, okay, I'm in good hands with this guy. Because that's the first thing I look at when I walk in. See what kind of degrees he has. Okay. I'm pretty happy with the one I've got, although I haven't used him in years. Well, that's an impressive diploma to hang on a wall. I know that for sure. But that was one of the first things I would do. If I walked into a lawyer's office, I would look and see what degrees he had on the wall and what law schools he went to. If he had a degree from the Philippines, I'd like, I don't think that one's good. Boy, that's going one end of the spectrum or the other. I wouldn't want your student loan bill. No, thank you. Christ, I know how much in debt my buddy's daughter is after getting her doctorate. Holy shit. Last time I talked to her, she said, "Oh well, I got it down to about 127,000 now." I was like, "Jeez." Thank God she has a excellent paying job. That's why I think it's bullshit that all these students want the government to wipe out their student loans. Yeah, but I don't think these kids should get their student loans just wiped out. I don't think the government should be paying for everybody's education. Oh, I noticed yesterday we gained one more subscriber. We're up to 110 now. Yeah, it's bullshit. These kids want everything handed to them. I never finished college because I couldn't afford it. I wish somebody would have given me a free ride. Community service. You can't even get goddamn criminals on probation to do community. You expect these kids nowadays? Me pick up garbage on the freeway? I don't think so. Well, if it's good enough for the prisoners. Yeah, every now and then I'll see a couple of white vans parked on the side of the freeway. Then you see all the orange jumpsuits. Oh, that sucks. The fucking school's closed for illegal bullshit and they still have to pay their loan. Oh, I wouldn't have stood for that, but otherwise you'd have a collection agency on your ass. What a crock of shit. Gee, Ron, don't you wish you could do that shit today? Christ, I'm lucky to throw a rock across the street. Well, you know, people, I think it's about that time. I got some burgers waiting for me. We know where, right here. WDWL TV. right, everybody. It's been a fun show. Thanks for everybody hanging around, putting up with my ass. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. And we will meet again tomorrow night. And with that, see ya! Oh, I gotta change this mouse. Damn clicker don't wanna work. Take two!